Welcome back to Voices from the Castle, the official podcast of Tyler County Schools. I'm your Superintendent, Shane Highley, and today we're talking about something that sits at the very heart of everything we do, the safety and security of our students and staff. Before learning can happen, before championships can be won, before performances can take place on the stage, students must feel safe, and I want our community to know school safety is not something we talk about once a year. It's something we work on every single day. Over the past several years, Tyler County Schools has conducted multiple active shooter and crisis response drills across our buildings. These drills are carefully planned and age appropriate, designed to ensure our staff knows exactly how to respond in an emergency. We don't do these things to create fear or scare people. We do these things to create readiness. Each year, we refine our procedures, review lessons learned, and strengthen our response systems. Preparedness, it does save lives. And practice builds confidence. This year, we plan on doing something, taking these drills a step further with a reunification drill. One important area we are focusing on this year will be reunification. We plan to conduct a full reunification drill to practice how we safely and efficiently return students to their families in the event of an emergency evacuation. The last couple years, we've had active shooter drills, and then, we've taken it as far as, busing some kids in. But now we're going to look at what do you do after you remove kids, and you're trying to get them that back to the parents who are anxiously waiting to be reunified with their students. So this will become a major focus for us this year as we move forward with this drill. It's a major focus of school safety efforts. We want to make sure that if it's ever needed, our process would be smooth, organized, and calm. Because in a situation as stressful as that, you don't want any of those three things to really mess up or hinder the operation of reunification. So one of our strengths that we feel that really help us not only in the reunification drill but throughout the year, all year, is our collaboration with our emergency management system here in Tyler County. We work hand in hand with the Tyler County Sheriff's Department, the local police, EMS, and the Tyler County Office of Emergency Management. These trainings that we do are not done in isolation. They are coordinated, collaborated, and realistic. Our emergency management professionals help evaluate our drills, provide feedback, and ensure we are aligned with best practices. That collaboration makes our training meaningful, and it strengthens relationships long before an emergency ever happens. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Shannon Huffman, who is the one of the deputies at the Tyler County Sheriff's Department. He is instrumental in helping us plan these drills. His wealth of knowledge and depth of knowledge on these drills has really been very beneficial to the Tyler County school system. And the past 2 years when we've had our drills, it's been a collaborative effort, and I can say that we have learned a lot. Just going through a drill, I thought that first year when we had the drill, I was like, it's just going to be a drill. It's not going to feel real. But then when you hear those fake shots being fired and a lot of yelling and a lot of screaming and it's very tense, and it's unnerving. But if you practice those things, it makes you much better in the situation if it were to ever occur. So we're thankful to have those drills and have that collaboration with our Tyler County Sheriff's Office and Tyler County Emergency Management System. We do have school resource officers in every one of our buildings. We are fortunate in that aspect, but our SROs are more than a security presence. They are mentors. They are relationship builders. They are trusted adults in our hallways. And then the partnership, like I said, the partnership between the school system and the Tyler County Sheriff's Department is strong, and it's become built on mutual respect. Our deputies know our students by name when they come and deal with an issue. They attend our events. They build rapport, and then prevention often begins with connection, and our SROs are a critical part of that connection. In the near future, we plan on doing some upgrades here at our high school, and then with our new elementary school being built, those same measures will be there. Um, so we are investing in the physical security improvements here at the high school. We're looking at a major window and door project that will significantly upgrade the building's security. It will help controlled entry points, reinforce door hardware, improve locking systems, modernize exterior windows with safety features. You see, school safety across the country emphasizes that layered security, combining people, procedures, and physical infrastructure, is the most effective approach. This project will strengthen that physical layer with, shatterproof glass, locking systems that where our buildings can be locked down in the touch of one button. So we are excited for that to take place. So safety in the school system is not just about locked doors and the drills that I've talked about. It is actually staff who knows procedures, students who can trust adults, families who feel informed, community partners who stand beside us. And when we walk into the schools, we should feel something stronger than security. We should feel confident. In the next part of Voices from the Castle, I will be interviewing two very important people in our school system. Miss Amanda Kimball, who is our facilities director, along with our food services, and she plays a vital role in our security measures in planning these drills. And then we will also have Carrie Grice, who is our transportation director, but she has a history of law enforcement and safety, not only in the correctional facilities, but across the state and with the State Department. So in just a few minutes, I will be interviewing those two to talk about their thoughts on school safety and some other important questions. Please stay tuned. This is part 2 of Voices from the Castle. With me now, I have Miss Amanda Kimball and Miss Carrie Grice, and they're going to answer some questions about school safety and security. So the first question I have for them: Tyler County is a rural district. What unique safety challenges and advantages come with that?
Being rural has both challenges and strengths. One challenge is geography. In a large spread out county like ours in Tyler County, response times can vary depending on location. We also don't have the same immediate access to specialized services that larger urban districts might. But the advantage, and it's a powerful one, is its relationships. In small communities, we know our students and families. That familiarity allows us to recognize changes in behavior quickly and intervene early. Prevention is stronger in rural districts because relationships are stronger.
The other concern that we address is the physical safety regarding transportation. We have unique flooding and creek crossing risks, mountain road and black ice hazards, as well as snow, communication limitations, and some expected advantages that rural systems have during emergencies.
So when we plan drills in Tyler County, we oftentimes have to, the drills that we have done, we have, kind of staggered times to when response would be here to make it more real life. So we know that's a setback we have in a rural area, is getting the help here that we need. Another question I have for you all: what role do our school resource officers play in prevention versus response?
Our school safety officers are much more than responders. Of course, they're trained and prepared to respond in emergencies, but their daily impact is preventative. They build relationships with students, they monitor the school climate, they act as mentors and trusted adults. When students see safety officers as approachable, they're more likely to report concerns before they escalate, with prevention always being with connection.
Okay, so another question about prevention and student support. What systems do we use to evaluate potential threats before they even escalate?
We use a structured threat assessment process. That means when a concern is reported, we don't rely on a rumor or an emotion. We just follow a certain protocol. We have a multidisciplinary team That includes administrators, counselors, safety personnel um, that evaluate the behavior, the context, and the level of the risk. We assess whether it's a comment made out of frustration or a valid threat that requires a deeper intervention. So, based on that, we do documentation, communication, follow up, and those are all critical parts in that process.
So, how do you see counselors and administrators working together when concerns are reported?
It's very collaborative. Administrators will handle that immediate safety steps and the investigation. Counselors focus on the student's mental health, stressors, and the support systems in and outside of the schools. Often, concerning behavior is a signal that a student is struggling, and our goal is not just discipline, it's intervention. When counselors and administrators work together, we can address both the safety and the student's well being.
So, the biggest thing that I see now with school safety and has become more of an issue as time has went on is social media and online safety. It used to be, you would get a call in the principal's office. There's a note on the wall that says there's a bomb. But a lot of times now the threats that we receive are online or through social media. So how has social media impacted school safety in Tyler County?
Yep. Social media has changed everything. A comment period at 10 o'clock at night can disrupt the school by 7 a.m. Threats, rumors, misunderstandings spread quickly. Even jokes or sarcastic comments can cause real fear. In a rural community where everyone's connected, information, accurate or not, travels quickly. We take every online threat seriously, whether it was meant as a joke or not.
And then parents who are listening to this podcast, what should they watch for regarding online threats or concerning posts that their students may make or they may see just online in general?
Absolutely. Paramount is monitoring social media and technology. But if you noticed a shift in sudden secrecy about their devices or obsession with violent content, drastic mood or behavior changes, posts referencing hopelessness or revenge or harm, and group chats where bullying and threats are happening. Open communication at home is absolute key. If something feels off, it probably is, and we would rather investigate 100 false alarms than miss one real concern.
Yeah. So earlier in the podcast, I talked a little bit about some of the drills we've done in the past. I'm going to allow you guys to talk a little more about them, but throughout the year, what types of safety drills do we conduct at each school or as a county?
Yep. Each school that regularly they're required to do fire drills once a month, lockdown drills, shelter in place drills, evacuation drills. Those are all done in age appropriate ways, and the goal is to prepare and not place fear. So just like we practice for the fire, we practice other scenarios so students and staff know exactly what to do without panic. But beyond those routine drills, over the past 3 years, we've taken preparedness to a higher level, conducting full-scale functional exercises in partnership with our community agencies and first responders. They're not simple walkthroughs. They are coordinated, realistic exercises that we involve law enforcement, EMS, fire department, health department, emergency management, school administration, and staff. We work closely with agencies across Tyler County to simulate a real-world scenario. We work on testing communication systems, evaluating reunification procedures, and then identify areas that we need to improve on so that we're better prepared. These exercises allow everybody from either the school staff to emergency responders to practice roles, timing, coordination, command structure in a controlled environment. What makes these especially valuable is the collaboration. We don't operate in isolation. We plan together, we debrief together, we refine our procedures together. And then after every drill that we do conduct, we have an after action review to determine what worked well and where we can improve. Then that leads us to the next level of collaboration that will build confidence, strengthen relationships, and ensures that if we face a real emergency, we're not meeting each other for the first time. We've already trained side by side. We know each other. Preparedness is not a one-time event. It's continuous, collaborative process, and we are proud of the progress we've made together as a school system in the community.
So, like a little earlier in the podcast, I was talking about the first drill we had and how I thought, this would be a drill. I won't get too excited. It's just a drill. But then you hear those gunshots and you hear all the screaming and yelling, and your adrenaline level goes way up. So you have to practice those things. And I think through those drills is one way to practice those scenarios that you hope never happens, but you have to be prepared. So when when a safety concern is reported, what happens behind the scenes?
Well, a lot that the public may or may not see. And can I backtrack just
Yeah,
a smidge
yeah.
regarding transportation? In addition to the building itself and what we do to monitor that preparedness, we also align and reinforce transportation safety drills. When coordinated, they strengthen the overall safety plan rather than operating as a separate program. And we include, evacuation drills, railroad crossing evacuation, accident or breakdown procedures, and student accountability during emergencies. And that's a vital part of being coordinated and just approaching it as a holistically instead of just operating as a silo. So with that being said, what the public does not see, the report is taken extremely seriously and documented. Administration and safety personnel begin assessing the credibility and the urgency. Then law enforcement may be contacted if necessary. Parents are notified when appropriate, and then we conduct interviews, gather digital evidence if needed, and evaluate intent, access, and implement safety plans. Sometimes that includes mental health services, disciplinary action, or law enforcement involvement. And it's very thorough, systematic, and never, ever taken lightly.
Yeah, so like I know that when we've had, lockdown procedures in the past in the school system that, you know, kids have cell phones. They're not supposed to have cell phones. They have cell phones, all right? And we'll get calls from parents saying, "Well, why didn't you tell us?" Well, there's a reason we don't say right away. We have to make sure the threat is assessed, whether it's real or, or not real. So there's steps in place that we have to take before we contact parents and tell them. We're not trying to keep anything from anyone, nor do we want to not be transparent with what's going on in our school system and your kids. So that's kind of the gist of that part of it. But let's talk a little bit about what are we doing to our buildings to make them more secure. So what safety upgrades? I talked a little bit about it earlier, but maybe elaborate a little bit on what have we done in recent years for safety and what are we doing in the future?
Well, we have the security entry vestibules that we've put in place, and we have a visitor management system that the technology department is working on getting integrated in. And that's a process where you're in that vestibule and you'll present your driver's license. And so from there, it'll create a tag. If you're going into the school, if you're just picking up your child, then you'll just pick up your child and they'll make sure that you are the person that you say that you are, and then off you go. We've upgraded our camera systems, and we're always working on our communication systems, whether that is the handheld radio that we have, ensuring that we've got those in the hands of everybody that needs them, and then being able to communicate with our first responders in that manner. I know on the bus, you all have a special system so that you all can communicate
Absolutely.
throughout the county. And then so we also have worked on digital mapping of our school, and it's integrated into our InformaCast that is projected out to our faculty and staff to warn us in case of an emergency. So we've done several things and continuously working on doing more upgrades.
So to that also, with the mapping, it creates a common language for the school system and emergency responders if there were an emergency or situation. Also, I think one thing to add to that is that our local 911 dispatch has access to our cameras at our school. So they have real-time footage of things that are going on in our school if needed.
Yep, the 911, the sheriff's department, and our local EMS have the school plans, the CRG digital mapping that we have too. So if they are dispatched and they need to come to our school, then we can easily get them into the location that they need to be in.
Yep. So how do secure entry systems and visitor protocols protect our schools? What's the purpose of those?
Well, I mean, they ensure that every visitor is screened before entering the building. I mean, we need to know at any point who's in and out of our building. Doors remain locked during instructional time, and visitors must check in, provide identification if unknown, and receive clearance. In the events, it prevents rather unauthorized access and allows us to track who's in the buildings at all time. If we did have an emergency, then we can account for every single person in that reunification process, and that layer alone dramatically increases school security.
So, a couple of messages to our community. So, what is the biggest misconception about school safety in small communities?
It can't happen here.
Yeah, exactly. You hear that. Those are words you don't want to hear. But I agree 100%. How can parents and community members help us maintain safe schools?
They can report concerns immediately.
Absolutely. They monitor social media and technology, reinforce responsible online behavior, support school policies, even when they're inconvenient. Yeah, and safety. I mean, safety is a shared responsibility between the folks in the community, parents, as well as the school.
hmm
So, what makes the two of you confident in the safety of Tyler County schools?
I'm confident because of our people. We have dedicated administrators, counselors, the school safety officers, teachers, students. We have a strong partnership with just our local first responders, and that's developed over the last 3 years with just with the full scale exercises that we've done, and just the communication that's increased and all of that. So, in a district like ours in Tyler County, relationships are our greatest strength.
Absolutely, and we do approach it holistically. I mean, I can give an example. Just the other day, we've had some weather, and one of the bus drivers was radioing in about a tree that was down, and they couldn't find it. EMS was looking for it, and they were like, "We can't find it on this specific road." So they immediately called me so that they could have it addressed like immediately. So it wasn't, impeding our folks. Everybody is fantastic to work with, and our job is to not only get kids to school safely, keep them safely, but also get them home. So I'm very appreciative for that collaboration.
Well, I'd like to thank the two of you for coming today and answering some questions about school safety and security. To our families listening, thank you for trusting us with your children. To our staff, thank you for being professional and your dedication. To our law enforcement and emergency management partners, thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with us. And safety is not a one-time effort. It is a continuous commitment. And here in Tyler County Schools, that commitment is strong. This has been Voices from the Castle. I'm Shane Highley. Stay safe, stay connected, and we'll see you next time.